Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Stando TV, and let's talk about the news that you guys care about. In today's news, we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Why? Because, well, we have seen the release window of Square Enix games coming out throughout 2017, and guess what is not visible or there? Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I would say that you're probably going to play that game at the earliest 2018, but I wouldn't even bank on that. Probably 2019. Why? Well, there's a few factors that go into that. One of which is the biggest factor, probably, is Final Fantasy 15 still being relatively new, with a lot of DLC and expansions still expected for that game to roll out over the next year and a half. So I wouldn't just jump in there. Final Fantasy VII Remake would just kill the sales of Final Fantasy 15 and all the DLC plans that it has going at this point. So I wouldn't expect it before 2018. I definitely think that it's going to be a 2019 release, especially since the director of the game didn't even know he was directing the game till maybe a week or two before E3 2014. So I remember that everything that you saw at E3 2014 was very pre-production stuff, and even though it's been trickling out over the information has been trickling out over the years, like it being an episodic game, it's going to be released episodically in 3 sections. I would probably say that they're going to wait until they have all of 3 of those sections almost completely finished, one of them really polished, before they start releasing that out. That way they can do annualized releases for 3 years. So you'll probably get disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII Remake in 2019, then in part 2 in 2020, part 3 in 2021. That's just the way I'm speculating how this is all going to roll out and turn out for everybody. Hopefully that's what happens, and hopefully this game doesn't end up in development hell like Final Fantasy 15 did when it was announced way back in 2007 or 2008 is when they announced that game as Final Fantasy 13 Versus, and we got a very different product and a rename all these years later, almost a decade later. So yeah, I would not be surprised, guys, if you don't see this game until 2019. I'm sorry. But one of the things that I am excited about Final Fantasy VII Remake is that it's going to be an action RPG like Final Fantasy 15, which is going to be a good thing. It's going to invite more people in, a bigger audience into the franchise, much like Final Fantasy 15 did. Final Fantasy 15 is the highest selling Final Fantasy game of all time, according to Square Enix. And that's awesome. I hope the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to do the same thing all over again like it did back in the 90s, and being an action RPG. And hopefully they are able to incorporate materia into that system, and hopefully that you can give pseudo commands to your characters while still keeping it an action RPG. And I know that opinion and that idea gets a lot of hate. I made a video about that about a year and a half ago now, and you guys just hit the dislike so hard on that. But listen to me, guys, that turn-based RPG, that classic RPG, is still there if I ever want to go play it. If you're going to do a remake, if you're going to build it from the ground up, give me something new to look forward to. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm excited about the remake still to this day, probably overhyped, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Another thing that is kind of really surprising about their release window is Kingdom Hearts 3 is not in there either, guys. And I would expect that Kingdom Hearts 3 would come out way before Final Fantasy Remake, because it's been in the cooker longer. Sure, almost everything that we have seen from Kingdom Hearts 3 has been kind of tech demo stuff, but nonetheless, we have been building up Kingdom Hearts 3 with all these mid-releases, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, whatever, re-releasing the original trilogy, and all these 2.78, 2.9 games, whatever. So it's really surprising that they're ramping up hype by all these releases for Kingdom Hearts, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 still not coming out this year. and that's unfortunate. And that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems with Square Enix and their announcements of games, is they're announcing stuff way too early. They are announcing stuff when it's in concept, and I really don't like that. I wish that they would just wait until they have until they're closer to the release date before they announce something, because all we have to do here on the internet is speculate and argue and bicker about stupid little things. So I wish that they would just announce the game like 18 months out or 6 months out or whatever they got to do. Of course, they got to announce it before the game comes out to build hype, to build conversations, to build all these things so that the game sells well, and it does well. But not 5 years before the game comes out. All right, that's all I'm saying. We need to reel that in a little bit, Square Enix. Let's not talk about your game until you're ready to show something relative with your production schedule. But anyway, guys, this is all one man's opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, you can like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Don't forget that you can also support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/StandoTV. And don't forget to check us out on the web over at StandoTV.com. And of course, you can watch live Let's Plays. Currently, we're playing Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy 15 in intervals over on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/StandoTV. And actually, I'm live streaming them here on YouTube too, so if you want to watch here, that's fine too. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, guys. Remember that I love your face, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.